Fail on NHS waiting list. Fifth, stop the boats. You said we will pass new laws to stop small boats, making sure if you come to this country illegally, you are detained and swiftly removed. Now, on the plus side, you've reduced the number of people last year who came over on the boats from 45,000 down to 29,000, mainly due to the deal with Albania. Big tick. I mean, that's a big drop. Congratulations. Here's the bit I don't get. I've never understood this Rwanda thing from the start of it, during it, and where we are now. It seems to me a completely cack-handed policy, if I'm honest. I've made no bones about this. I've been saying it the whole time, where even if it succeeds, even if miraculously you get it through Parliament, you end up just with maybe 200 people at vast expense being sent to Rwanda. And if they have a legitimate asylum case, we leave them there. None of this makes any sense to me. And I'm curious. I mean, Philip Johnston in the Telegraph said why Mr. Sunak decided to pin his entire premiership to the removal of a few hundred at most migrants to Rwanda will have historians scratching their heads in perplexity. And I agree with it. Why is this the hill you want to die on? Why is there not a better way to do this?
Okay, there's lots of that. Well, one is we've been through lots of other things as well. It's not the only thing I'm working on, but it's a really important one because it's a matter of fairness, first and foremost, because I think actually people coming here illegally undermine the sense of fairness on which our country
We can all
is
agree
built.
on that.
Right? So then you say, what do we do about it? Well, Rwanda is one part of a plan, as you said. We've already got the numbers down by a third, which has never happened before, right? So that is progress.
Yeah, you would have been sitting here and saying to me, look at that. And I would have gone, well done.
Yeah. So on Rwanda, why do you need it? Because you need a deterrent. Because simply, if someone comes here illegally, they shouldn't be allowed to stay. We must be able to remove them. And they can't all go back to the country they came from because it's very clearly not safe or a war zone, but you need to have a safe alternative to send them. And that's why you need a policy like Rwanda. And I believe that when we get it up and running, when we get flights going off, and it's uncapped, so we can send lots of people there, then people will stop coming. And you know why I know that that's going to work? It's because, as you acknowledged, it's worked with Albania.
If I said to you, I'll bet you £1,000 to a refugee charity, you don't get anybody on those planes before the election. Will you take that bet?
Well, I want to get the people on the planes, right? Of course I want to get the people on the planes.
£1,000.
Right, I want to get the people on the planes. I'm working incredibly hard to get the people on the planes.
Do you think that should be the priority when at the same time the ONS just predicted we could hit 73 million people who are in this country, right, coming in not on boats, but coming in the normal immigration system by 2036?
So hang on, there's
most people go, well, that seems massively more problematic to me.
People talk to me a lot about illegal migration, as I'm sure they talk to you about you. It's important that we grip it, and Rwanda is one part of an overall plan that is working. And you say you're scratching your head. Albania is an example of why it's working. We created a new returns agreement with Albania. Yeah. It meant that if people came here illegally, we could send them back, and you know what? They stopped coming. Rwanda will do the same thing for us.
I do not think it's going to work for you.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree.
That's my grim prediction.
But you don't have an alternative way to solve that problem then?
No, I'm not Prime Minister.
Right. So,
and nor do the Labour Party, by the way.
No, nobody does, right?
No.
And if you don't believe in solving the problem, that's one thing. I do. I think the British people do.
I'll give
if you do, you
on
need
that
to
fifth
have
pledge,
a scheme like Rwanda.
I'm going to give you a half pass.
Right.
Okay.
And on legal migration, we've taken action. We're going to cut the numbers by about 300,000, more than anyone's ever done before. That kicked in at the beginning of this year, and it will start making a difference.
Final question. You've lasted longer than a lettuce. Congratulations. Labour are 20 points ahead. When are you going to call the election? When are you going to go to the people and test their confidence in you?
Look, I spoke about that at the beginning of this year, so I haven't got more to add on it. But the choice at that election is what matters. And the choice, I think, is becoming increasingly clear. Because if you stick with the plan that is working, of course, as we've been through, we have to make more progress. But the plan is working. We are making progress. Then we can have peace of mind that the future will be better for our children, that everyone can have a renewed sense of pride in our country. That is what I'm gunning for. The alternative is Labour Party and Keir Starmer, who would just take us back to square one. Because as you know, he's had 4 years. He can't tell you what he would do differently because he doesn't have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you can't deliver any change. Nothing will change for the better, whereas I can do that for people.
Here's what I say at the end, is that Keir Starmer has resolutely not delivered on his pledges to do an interview with me for Piers Morgan Uncensored. You've now done 2 in the space of the last year. I appreciate that. I think you do put yourself up to be held to account more than he does. he's watching this, Sakir, you know where to find me. But I do. You said you would get me back a year later. You have done. I appreciate your time, and I wish you, whatever success you deserve this year, Prime Minister.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's good.